Sicario, which in Spanish means hitman, is the follow-up film to Denis Villeneuve's filmography after having films like Incendies, Prisoners, Enemy, all which are not good films. They're great films, and Sicario is hands down one of the best of 2015. Now granted, it may not be at the top 5 of many people's list by the end of the year, but this is one of those movies that when you go see it, it will stay with you for a long time, and it is an experience to go see it. You cannot be a faint of heart. You cannot be one of those people who doesn't like thrilling movies, because this is one of the best, not of the year, but one of the most suspenseful movies that I've seen in the past decade. And the thing is, with Denis Villeneuve's movies, when you see one, it stays with you for a while. When you see a Denis Villeneuve's movie, you actually don't need to see movies for a week because you have to recover. When you see a Denis Villeneuve movie, you actually want to go out and figure out how to say the man's name. And with this one, he continues to show why he is one of the best directors working today, alongside having the master of all cinematography, which is Roger Deakins, coming in and doing a phenomenal job. And the way that this movie is handled, it's literally like they were looking at it and they're just reaching out their hands from the movie screen, grabbing the audience's guts and just twisting them, because by the end of this movie, you're famished. But let's get into the good, the bad, and everything in between. And starting off with the good, like I always do, I want to start off with the great performances in this movie. You have Emily Blunt giving one of the best roles that she's ever done, and where she comes in and she is this just BA lady who not only goes in there to lead the pack, but like she is the first one in there. She doesn't go like, all right, we're gonna go, no, I'm gonna be the first one in there. She goes in there and she takes down the people that she needs to take down. And in a year where we have had characters like Gazelle and even Furiosa, I would say that Emily Blunt is definitely up there, if not tied for first or maybe even first with this character that she plays. You then have Benicio del Toro playing, hands down, probably the best role of his career, because literally it is, you look at his filmography and this role is everything he's ever done to the max. You also have Josh Brolin in this movie, and I feel that Josh Brolin can definitely lead a movie. He's got like that smug smile and he definitely commands presence when he's in a scene, but so far like he's never really the lead. He's sort of just like the side character who makes a big impact, but then like sometimes comes, sometimes goes. But the film also has some really strong side characters as well. You had John Bernthal coming in for a bit. There was another guy named Daniel Kulai, I believe is how you pronounce his name. I just kept looking at him and I'm like, hey, that's the dude from that one Black Mirror episode, but he plays one of the partners for Emily Blunt, and this dude comes in with what felt like a lot of comedic moments, but it's never that comedy where it's breaking the seriousness that Denis Villeneuve has in a lot of his movies. But there was a lot of comedic elements they have in this film, and that's more so in the way it's directed. It is directed in a very manipulative way, and where they know what you're thinking. Like, they assume that you are going to make assumptions. For example, let's start off like in the beginning when you're seeing a character go and he's about to touch something and you're like, oh, something's going to happen. Then it may or may not happen. Or they introduce you to a character and you go, okay, this person is this. And then they're like, oh, he's not. Oh, wait, no, he is. And even things from like seeing a news anchor on the news doing his news stuff, and then all of a sudden he gets muted, you yourself are so accustomed to what he is going to say that even though he's not saying anything, you yourself are saying it. And it's little things that is confusing to explain, but the more that you watch the movie, you continuously see it throughout in the way that it's edited, in the way that they do the cinematography, and they make you believe that something's going to happen, because legit, I was watching this and I'm like, okay, there's a tense situation here, and all I'm seeing is white walls that I know Roger Deakins would love to fill with blood because it'll look fantastic, and it just has you at the edge of your seat. The score to this by Johan Johansson, probably one of the best of the year. I'm talking, and I may be speaking a little too much here, but I'm talking it is Jaws level. I mean, when that thing comes in, you definitely know that you can be like in the happiest mood ever. Something happens, when you hear that, yeah, it's everything's just downhill from there. I mean, just look at it, another example. Something will happen, and then boom, yeah, that thing comes in and you know you're in a load of trouble. Of course, even for the films that I love, and I love to give praise to, there's always the negatives that you have to look at. And I mean, there are some scenarios that are kind of set up that are cliches. For example, anybody who's ever done any writing knows that one of the biggest tropes is to go to a bar and say, 2 beers, please, because any bartender in real life will be like, get out of here. But there are also other scenarios where it felt like, okay, we're focusing a lot on this, but then is that ever going to come into play? And when it does come into play, after a little bit, I was just like, you know what? It was kind of worth it, but some people would be like, no, that was completely pointless to continue focusing on that area, and even more so, focusing on some characters. Some characters come in late, then we forget about these characters, we focus a bit more, you know, there's a little bit of that, which again, that is the way that it's supposed to be directed, but I can see that being an issue with some people going, well, it's like we never see that person ever again or for a while. Overall, to me, this movie had 2 of the best and most intense scenes of the year, one of them dealing with the Mexican border, and the other one dealing when they're going into tunnels, and it's like a night vision thing, and what happens after that is one of the best scenes of the year, hands down. So with this film, I can honestly make the statement that Denis Villeneuve is one of the best directors working today, if not my favorite director. Not so much that, a lot of people go and they're like, hey, you know what, this new director is my favorite director, made a movie, so I automatically like it. No, he's my favorite director because he consistently makes great films, and he continues to with Sicario. I definitely think it's worth the watch if you have the stomach for it. Again, a lot of the things that they do is not like over violence, because that's not what the director likes to do. He just likes to do it so it makes an impact, and definitely you will not forget this movie after you watch it. Definitely let me know down below if you were able to check it out. We can discuss it, whether you liked it or not. If you thought it lived up to the hype, or if you had problems with some scenes, that we can discuss it, especially because a lot of the way that the things are shot may seem like they're taking a little bit too long to get there. But when you see the craftsmanship that went into this, I mean, like, they set signals even for just blurred out images, just because the colors from those blurred out images have already been engraved in your mind from scenes beforehand. It is incredible. Definitely worth the watch if you have, again, the heart to watch it and you don't get too queasy with it. But overall, we can discuss this movie down below in the comments section. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.